Now let's solve the question. Explain the meaning of law of supply using the examples and diagrams. Distinguish between the movements along and the shift of the supply curve. So we have to see the what is law of supply, and we need to see the diagrams, and also we have to differentiate between movement along and the shift of the supply. Okay. So let's see what is law of supply. So as the price of a good increases, the quantity supplied increases. And as the price falls, the quantity supplied decreases. Ceteris paribus. That is, all other factors held constant. So when all other factors are held constant, when the price increases, supply increases. When the price decreases, supply decreases. Okay, so like price is directly proportional to supply. When price increases, supply increases. When price decreases, supply decreases. So this is the case. Okay. So what is the major motivation of producers? Producers are motivated by profit, right? So when price rise, the producers become more production become more profitable, right? So firms are willing to supply more. So when price is increasing, they could create lot more profit, right? So they will be willing to supply more. When prices fall, production is less profitable. So firms will reduce the supply. So when the price, for example, you can see when the price of coffee increases, coffee farmers will produce more, right? And they will sell more coffee. If the price falls, they may reduce the production or switch to other crops. These are the common things that we can always see, right? So this is a normal supply curve. Okay. So x-axis will be quantity, y-axis will be price. So if the price is this, the quantity supplied will be this. Okay. Let's take it as P1 and Q1. Okay. And if the price increases to this much, the quantity will increase to this much. See? So as price increases, quantity supplied increases. As price decreases, quantity supplied decreases. Right. So a movement along the supply curve happens only due to a change in price. So the movement across the supply curve will only occur due to the prices of the good itself. Okay. So there is extension and contraction, right? What is extension in supply? When price increases, quantity supplied increases, right? When price increases, quantity supplied increases, right? And what is contraction in supply curve? When the price falls, right? When the price is falling, quantity supplied decreases. So when the price decreases, quantity supplied, right? Quantity supplied decreases. Okay. So the key point is that the supply curve does not shift here, only move from one point to another point on the same curve. Okay, so that is very easy to learn. Now we have to check how the supply curve might shift. Okay, so due to any reason, a sudden decrease in the supply, okay, sudden decrease in the production at all price level, what will happen? The supply curve will shift to left since the production has decreased. At the same time, due to any reason, if the supply has increased at all price level, the supply curve will shift to right side. Okay. So let's take initial supply curve. Supply is S0, initial supply curve, and S1, S1 and S2 are the other two supply curve. So S1 is the expansion, right? That is the supply has increased at all price level, and S2 is the supply curve when the production is reduced at all price level. Okay. So this shift will be a result of non-price factors. So a shift of the supply curve occurs due to non-price factors. So what are the non-price factors? Any idea? What are the non-price factors that shift the supply curve? So there are a lot of factors, right? Like other than the price, like we have the cost of factors of production, like for example, the raw materials price increases or the wages of workers increases, like that. And the if there is any change in the technology, it can either increase or decrease the production, right? If we have a better technology, we can increase the supply without any price change. And if the technology is not advanced, the supply will be reduced. and expectation of future prices, number of firms available. Okay. So these can change the supply. Okay. So these are the non-price factors. Clear? So what will happen when the supply is increased? The curve will shift right. And when there is a decrease in the supply, the curve will shift left. Okay. So the costs of shift include, as we mentioned, cost of production like cheaper raw materials available, increase in supply. Technological improvements, taxes or subsidies. So if the government reduces the taxes or any tax relaxation is provided, any subsidies are announced, etc. And weather conditions. If the weather is good for the production, like in agriculture field and all, the supply will increase, right? And the number of firms in the market. So if a lot of firms are producing the same good, the supply will increase in the market, right? So all these are non-price factors. So if new technology makes car production cheaper, firms can supply more cars at every price, right? So the supply curve shift right. So we can give the example like that, okay? So basically, the law of supply explains positive relationship between price and quantity supplied. So movements along the curve result from price change, while shift occur due to external factors affecting the production. So whether it is demand or supply, the price will only make some movements on the same supply and demand curve. And the only the external factors other than the price can shift the curves. So always keep that in mind. Okay. So this is also a very easy question. You can easily score the 10th.